All right. Okay. All right. Welcome.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Discover with Sbenati. I'm your host, Dr. Halim Sbenati, and today we have an amazing show for you. We have a guest. Her name is Laura Ferrari. No, Ferrari, like the car. Yes, I'm so sorry. So we have our special guest, Laura Ferrari. She is a makeup artist amongst many other things. I will not steal her thunder. She'll explain to you exactly what's going on with her life and what she's doing. But she's definitely someone you want to listen to. So thank you again for those people that are tuning in on YouTube. And thank you for those that are tuning in on podcasts and everywhere else that you're listening to this. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
How is 2020 treating you so far?
Good. It's treating me well because I prepared for it last year.
Good.
I spent the year making a lot of changes, and that's what I do. I literally continue to change what I do. It drives some people crazy, but that's just how I roll.
Good.
I never stay in one spot for too long.
Awesome. We'll go through that.
So yeah, it's been a really good start to the year.
Good.
It's a little bit hectic. I have 2 little boys.
Nice.
So I am a professional makeup artist, which means I do have very odd hours, and I used to do quite a bit more bridal, which is what I was just getting out of in 2019. So now we're sort of moving into 2020, and I only have sort of 1 or 2 weddings really on the go, and the rest is just me time, creating.
Okay, creating what?
Creating lots of things. I have some programs that I'm launching soon. Makeup workshops, and then some online content as well. So getting out of the hustle and more into the creative space, but still
business.
In makeup and business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing your own online business where basically it's tutorials.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
And then also, I mean, I share quite a bit of my life online, but I also have an Arbonne business as well. So what I'm looking at doing is building much more of a brand than just being a makeup artist. Because we all know if I was to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, I could never be where I wanted to be.
Of course.
I could never reach that level of success. So I need to monetize, and I need to sort of grow and adapt and change, and that's what we're doing.
And what is it that you do besides makeup?
I have an Arbonne business, so it's a multi-level marketing business, which is very confusing to a lot of people. I think that can have a very bad reputation, but it's actually a really incredible business, especially for moms and stay-at-home moms. So it gives us the opportunity to make an income and still be with our kids. So I get to literally pick my hours every week.
Okay.
Every day is different. No Monday is the same. No Tuesday is the same. And I love that because when I stay too much doing the same thing, I get really bored.
So Arbonne is a makeup company.
Yeah, so it's makeup, nutrition, skincare. It's
Okay.
all products for you in your home, but all plant-based.
Okay.
So they've been around for 40 years, which is really cool because before being vegan and living plant-based and being really sustainable was a cool thing, we were already doing it. So I started to notice in the last couple of years that it was becoming a big question amongst my clients and in my home as a mother, is trying to find clean and safe products, because I'm sure the more you learn, the scarier. It's quite wild.
Yes.
And so now I've kind of found something I can have my cake and eat it too, which is really cool.
And how long have you been with Arbonne for?
Only about a year.
Oh, okay.
So I've had really good success in the business already, but I have a long way to go still. And it just morphs beautifully into my makeup business. So I can still do clients, but I can do them on my time. So on a Saturday, I can go and do 4 clients at their homes versus getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and banging out 12 clients all day.
Right.
And then when I have to come home and still be a mom at the end of the day.
It's so tiring, right?
And I have a very traditional household, which means my husband works 7 days a week. He has his own business, so I need to take care of the house, take care of the kids, and I want to work. I was not one of those women who wanted to stay at home.
Stay at home, right.
My husband would love it if I stayed at home, but I am so not interested in that.
Okay, so you're a hustler.
Yeah.
You're a makeup artist. You're with Arbonne, been there for a year.
Yeah.
Do you do anything else? You're a mom of 2?
Soon. Yes, mom of 2. That keeps me really busy. So I have a 2 and a 5-year-old.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, and the 2-year-old's getting very busy. The 5-year-old, he has always been a very creative, busy boy. He's going to be a lot like his mama, but he requires a lot of my time. So I tried to do more of a traditional work hours, and it just didn't work. I would be getting phone calls from school or sick kids, and I felt like I was constantly letting everybody down. So instead of feeling like I was failing where I was doing, we just needed to change it up. And I think that's one of the biggest things for me and for my businesses and mom, is just being really, really self-aware.
Okay.
When do we need to start changing?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point to the mothers that are watching.
Yeah. Like self-aware is key, because things were not working the way they were working. I was getting anxious, I was getting stressed. So like taking a step back and saying, why is this not working? Because obviously I still want to work, So we can't keep me from work, or I'm just going to get angry about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get anxious about it. So how can we make this work? And a business like Arbonne was the perfect fit for me.
Okay. So before we delve into all those things, okay, so you're into your own makeup artist. You have your makeup
Yeah, I
business,
call it like a
basically.
freelance.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're a freelance makeup
Yeah.
artist, and you're also into the Arbonne, and so you're selling products.
Yeah.
Right, and you're a mom of two.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's a lot.
That's amazing.
This is where social media comes in handy.
Right, and you're really involved in social media as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I have a huge question.
Yeah.
How do you maintain your schedule, and how are you so organized with all the
Well,
stuff that's going on in
It's
your
all
life?
on me. Like
Okay.
I need to take the time and organize, because on the weeks where I am not organized, it is chaos.
Okay.
And I can feel very overwhelmed and very and I'm sure a lot of moms watching, they're like, oh, I feel like that all the time. Like I feel always like a hot mess. But it's on us to take that time to step back and say, how can I make this work? What needs to give this week, and what needs a little more? Like some weeks I just have to give myself a little more self-care and a little more love in order to be a better mom. And some weeks I have to recognize, okay, my kids need me this week. I need to take some time off work and maybe pull one of them out of school and go jump on the trampolines for a couple hours, or just again, being really self-aware of what needs me and when, because every day and every week is literally so different.
Okay, so then how do you prepare for that? Like, how do you make sure that your life isn't gonna fall apart?
I keep a lot of lists.
Okay.
I always keep an iPad in my purse with me, and that's like my schedule, that everything that I do has a different color on my schedule. Each kid has a different color. A family event has a different color, a work activity, an Arbonne activity, so I can kind of
This is on the iPad?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
wicked.
just use like a Google Calendar system, but I have everything color coordinated.
Nice.
And then lists, I have a grocery list, I have a to-do list, I have a kid list, I have there's always 10 lists on the go.
And when do you do those?
So I get up early.
Okay.
A lot of people will say to me, well, how do you do it all? Like, how do you get up and you still, look like you have your shit together? Well, I get up at 5.
Okay.
I have to get up
So you get up
early.
at 5, and what time do you sleep?
I try my best to get in bed by 11.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on that because I realized to get up earlier means you have to go to bed earlier. So I'm trying really hard to get to bed by 10 o'clock.
And not
but
hit
it
the
is
snooze
hard.
button.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is so hard.
Yes.
I can't lie, it's hard.
Yes, it is. So you wake up every single morning at 5 a.m.
I try my best,
Okay,
yeah.
and then run us through a little bit of your daily routine.
So I like to get up and spend that time on myself, and that's something that I never used to do. And one of my biggest learning moments, I guess, as a mom is how important it is to take care of ourselves, because we can get so wrapped up and tied up and taking care of everybody else. The house even comes before us, everybody. So taking that time for myself, I wake up and I usually read. I have a book of the month going on. I had a lie that I told myself for years that I didn't like to read, or I wasn't a reader, I didn't have time to read, but I have now destroyed that lie in my head, because it's just a lie that I've told myself. I do like to read. So I read a bit of a book, even if it's just 10 pages, and then I journal what I wrote, and then I do a bit of a gratitude journal in the morning too. So it seems a little cheesy, but I actually write out my 10 goals that I have on the go, and some of them are pretty obnoxious. And sometimes I add to them, like right now I'm trying to earn a trip through Arbonne, so I've added that onto my list. And when I write those goals out every morning, I don't say like, I'm going to earn the trip to Bahamas. I write, I have earned the AIT trip to Bahamas. And I write everything as if it's already happened. And even in I guess it's been less than a year that I've done that, multiple things on that list have happened.
Wow.
So I think that's really, really a big one for me.
Right.
And then as soon as I've done that, I go to my lists. Okay, what's on the to-do list for today? I look at the master list, and then I make a to-do today list.
Okay.
And that's basically how I go with the flow.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So you wake up at 5. You read a little bit of the book. How much time do you spend reading a book? And what book are you reading?
From 5 until 6, that's reading, gratitude, and journaling.
Okay.
From 5 until 6. Right now I'm reading the Gary Vee.
Crushed It?
Crushed It, thank you.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through that one. That one's
Yes.
really good. I'm
That's
obviously a huge Rachel Hollis fan. Girl Power, she's a good one for that.
Yes. Yes.
The 5 a.m. Club, that's a really good one.
Okay.
I'm having a brain fart on the rest of them, but there's
Okay. Good.
personal development books.
Okay. I see.
That's key.
I see. That's good.
In order to keep my mind very positive and excited and thriving, because I find sometimes this work from home mom is very tricky.
In terms of what?
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be easier if I could leave the home and work.
Okay.
But it's actually more work for me to stay home and try and work because now I'm taking on two whole worlds and trying to do them at the same time.
Right.
So
it becomes a bit messy.
Yeah, it does. It can be really messy if I don't stay on my game.
So okay, so in the morning, and you've been doing this for how long? This morning routine?
Probably only about a year.
A year.
Yeah.
And you've noticed a lot of changes.
Huge difference.
Okay, so you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, because what used to happen is I would wake to my kids coming to my bed, and you just have like this face right there in the morning, like, "Hi, Mom," and you're like, "Oh, now I gotta get up. I gotta wash my face. Like, when am I gonna shower now?"
They have a million joules of energy.
You end up spending all your time on them, and then you're flying out the door, and you look like a hot mess.
Okay.
And when you look like a hot mess, typically you feel like a hot mess. And for me, the way that I look and the way that I feel are
Okay, very married.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So in the morning, so you read, you do your goal and gratitude journal, and then you do your master list. Oh, you do your to-do list from the master list.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, those are the 3 things you do every single day.
Every single day.
Okay.
And then, of course, I usually walk directly over to my nutrition cabinet. I slam a big glass of water. I take my greens shot, and I make a protein shake.
Okay.
Because if I don't get those things, there's a good chance that I'm going to have no chance to eat or drink anything until probably noon.
Okay.
So if I don't do that, I'm probably going to start to feel like crap around noon, low energy,
Right.
and then my day's not as successful. So.
And what's the screenshot you're talking about?
It's like a shot of 35, I think it's 35 fruits and vegetables from all of the color groups, all plant-based in one little shot.
Okay.
Just slam it.
A concentrate.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I can get everything that I need. Helps keep me from getting sick, and it helps cravings.
Okay.
So those people
And
that
you've
have
been
really
doing that
bad
for
sugar.
how? Is that from Arbonne?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, probably about a year is when I
Okay.
started to make some pretty good health changes.
And you've noticed some changes too? Like when you start doing that, specifically that green shot?
Energy is a huge one. Like
Okay.
I need to keep my energy up, and I have so many people that are kind of sucking the energy out
Yeah.
of me all day long
Yeah.
that I need something to stay energetic without coffee, of course.
Right.
Try and limit that one to one a day.
Okay, good. Okay, cool. So then after that, then you go to work. Is that what you're doing? Like you start taking care of your family,
Yeah, it
then
depends.
then you
Like
plan
some
for their
days I have to be home with the kids.
Okay.
So then it's like, how the heck am I going to get this list done when I have to take care of the kids
Right.
and get dinner on the table and do all of the things? But
Right.
some days, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I've committed to putting my little guy in school. So I have full mom day on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where I can do whatever I need to do.
Okay.
Which could be anything. That could be shooting content, that could be makeup clients, that could be meetings, it could be my own personal appointments, dentist appointments, whatever.
Have you always been so highly organized?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was younger and my mother would punish me and send me to my room, I would reorganize my closet. She was
Okay.
like, "This is like she doesn't even care she's in there."
Okay.
I taught myself how to French braid my hair once when I was grounded. Like
Oh,
I always find
okay.
something to
Something
do.
to do, okay.
So you can try and
So
punish me,
you're
but
resourceful.
it doesn't work.
Okay,
I'm very
right.
resourceful.
Right,
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So you talked about that you're trying to achieve this level of success. What is this level of success you're trying to achieve?
Well, for me, success isn't really a number or a car. I mean, I will earn a free Mercedes-Benz from Arbonne, and like there's some great perks, but for me, it's time. I want to be able to leverage my time exactly how I want to, and financial freedom. That's
Okay.
the ultimate goal, is that I can do everything I need to do and my kids not suffer at all. Like they can have exactly their needs are met and my needs are met, and it works well together.
Do you have a number that works for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want to share that?
No. I mean, yes. I mean, I obviously anything over. I would like to see. My end goal for Arbonne would be I'm in the $1 million mark every month. So Arbonne does have a $1 million club, and that is a very prestigious thing to get to. And I'm one of those people that I 150% confidently know that I'll be there.
Okay.
Like some people are, hesitant, I don't know if that's for me. Like I have too much motivation and too much drive and too much dedication that it won't not happen. It's just a matter of, is it going to happen in 5 years or 10?
Okay. And that's why you want to build your online business and build the
Yeah.
brand and all that stuff so that you can generate that kind of influence so you can get up to that number.
Exactly.
Okay.
And ultimately, Arbonne isn't the end goal. That's just the vehicle that's going to allow me to do the other things. Like I'd love to be able to give back to my community in a massive way. And I'd love to create something where I could help, women that were in similar situations that I was. But financially, I need the means to do that, and so Arbonne will be the vehicle that will help get me there.
And the reason why I asked you for the number is because without a number, we can't really. I know you have a number.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that without a number, we can't actually get to that. imaginary place.
Yeah.
That successful imaginary place.
Yeah, because like, you know, what success is today and tomorrow could be totally different.
That's right. That's right. So that's why I said, you know, that's why I asked you. I was really hoping you would share it, because now you're under the pressure of actually achieving it.
And that's one of the goals I write every day is I have a multi-million-dollar brand.
Good. Awesome.
Done.
Awesome. And you're going to get that.
Done.
I'm 100% positive.
Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, so, and in terms of your family, do you have any goals for your family of what you want your family to achieve?
I come from very hardworking parents.
Okay.
So ultimately, to be able to take care of them the way they take care of me would be the biggest goal.
Okay.
My dad's an entrepreneur. My mom is still an active duty firefighter. So they both still work very hard.
Okay.
And they provided a very good life for us, one that they did not have. So they were those people that, you know, didn't come from the best situation and gave us everything. And I want to be able to give that back to them and show them how much I respect what they've done for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So now, why did you choose the makeup business?
Oh, it's the craziest story.
Okay.
It really is. It was always just a hobby for me. I actually grew up a bit of a tomboy. I played hockey for years. My weekend hobbies were four-wheeling. So probably not something you would guess looking at me, but makeup was always a hobby of mine. It was something that was always really fun and creative for me, just like it would be an artist who likes to paint. It was a fun thing for me. And after I had my first son, who was a bit of a surprise, I continued my work until I had the baby, and I actually lost my job while I was on maternity leave. So I was kind of in this like, holy crap situation. What do I do now? And it was right when social media was starting to become a big thing. This is about 6 years ago. And so I had to make a game time decision. I called my boss and said, hey, you know, I'm ready to return back to work, you know, maybe next month. And he was like, oh, yeah, sorry, your job doesn't really exist anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, now I have a house and I have a baby and I need a job.
Of course.
And so I had about 1 month to figure it out, and I decided that I was going to take this passion of mine and try and do something with it online.
Wow.
So it literally started with me sitting in my basement, doing my makeup, taking some pictures, going to work, and then trying to upload it and tag all the people and hope that like somebody would recognize me or repost it or whatever. And it turned into booking a lot of weddings. And then I think just my online presence started to make people understand and trust me. And I think the more you share that's personal, develops that like, know, and trust factor, which then creates sales and customers.
Right.
So I spent 6 years building a really awesome business, and it was only in the last year that I've kind of stepped back because now I have another child and just the responsibility is bigger. There's a lot of hours that go into bridal and not as good of pay as you would think. So I was ready for a change.
That's awesome.
But
I like the way that you're like constantly changing your goals as you go along.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's amazing.
It is a little bizarre to some people, I'm sure.
No, it's amazing
how I
because
roll.
because what you're doing is you're kind of like, okay, this is not working. What am I gonna do to make this work? Because you're not like stuck in the victim position. You're not like saying, why this happened to me? I can't do this. Start crying. That's it. It's over. No, to you it's like, okay, this didn't work. I lost my job. How am I gonna make this work? Let's be proactive. And you took that train like to a whole new level.
Yeah,
that's
to
amazing.
sit there and to be miserable about your circumstances when you have the capability to change it. And we have social media at our fingertips now. So to say you can't do anything is really just you feeling not confident or lazy or whatever it is. Yeah. Because you literally can do anything you want now.
Right. It's making up excuses.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Cool. Okay, so and are you happy where you are today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very happy. I have lots more coming, but very content.
Okay. So now let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. What are, from childhood until now, maybe one or two obstacles that you've encountered, something huge, okay, that have been such a big, like a changing moment in your life? Because I know that obstacles really change people. I really believe in that. So what are two obstacles that you had to overcome in your life, and how did you overcome them? And the reason why I ask these questions is because that helps a lot of our viewers. When they hear these things, and they've messaged me personally, and they've said, you know, thank you so much for doing this. I've learned a lot. I've also been inspired to keep going despite my situation, and they tell me their situation.
That's good.
So if you care to explain maybe one or two things that you've encountered, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I guess one of them, I mean, the biggest for me was only 6 years ago. Was when I had my son. It was like everything stopped. I was a single woman, working a great career. I thought I was doing so well. For me at 22, I was making like really good money. I thought this was like the end all. I thought I was doing so great. So to kind of change everything in that moment, have a baby, lose my job, that was like the biggest holy crap. I also was not married to my boyfriend at the time, so that was a very big surprise. We also bought a house, moved in together 3 weeks before we had a baby. So that alone was like,
that's a lot.
Crazy. Very traditional European, so they have a lot of expectations from the women, and I had no concept of that. So that was probably my biggest aha. But for me, I did have a really good childhood, but the way that we grew up with my sisters, we were very different, and we were treated very differently. She's now a chiropractor, and at the time, I was like unwedded woman with a baby, wanting to change her career to be a makeup artist. You can imagine that my parents were like very,
that's a huge,
what
yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not that they weren't disappointed, but they were not pleased. So I definitely had to, I didn't have to, but I wanted to kind of prove to them, no, I can do this. It doesn't really matter what my situation is. Watch me. So I would say that would be the big one, but obviously that wasn't from childhood. From childhood, obstacle.
That is a big one though.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like because now you're fighting the current against your parents or your culture or your background's expectations.
Yeah.
And now you have to deal with the current situation that you didn't expect.
But your sister's, she's going to be a doctor.
Yes.
So like, what about you?
Right.
And
Right.
I was like, well, what do you mean? I have a baby. He's awesome. Like, what about me? So I felt that
That's
like
amazing that you
desire
have
to
right.
prove them wrong, even though I know that's not the right way to do things. You should never be proving somebody wrong.
But you use that as a motivation to keep going.
Motivation,
That's
for
amazing.
sure.
Yeah. So can you think of something from childhood, from before that point, that maybe you encountered and you overcame?
I was bullied really badly.
Okay.
Like very badly. Like the girls were nasty, but my mom was always very like alpha female, very confident. So she would just say like, why does it bother you? Or it shouldn't bother you. Or like I don't think that my parents understood the level of bullying. And so it definitely turned me into a little bit more of like a hard person, and that I don't take shit. So I think that's a good thing. But it took me a very long time to become confident again. I had zero confidence coming out of high school because of that. And my high school was not easy. My public school or high school that whole time was not easy. I think I have a very good, I put on a very good persona. When things aren't going my way, you would never know. If I'm having an epic fail, you would never know. Because of the way that I was sort of taught to show up like nothing was bothering me.
To suppress it all.
Yeah, and I think I did that for years. I think to this day, my parents still probably have no concept of how bad it really was. But because of the way that I was raised, it didn't really bother me. Like maybe I was just suppressing it, or maybe it didn't bother me, but somebody could walk up to me and say something really nasty or behind my back, and I would just be like, well, that's your opinion. And so for a young teenage girl, when you say that to another girl, that's like, oh, well, now you've just started the catty drama.
Right.
And so for that, it almost caused more bullying, because I had that like, I don't care attitude. But it wasn't that I didn't care. It was that I didn't think that if I cared, anyone would care.
I got you.
So I think that started super, super young. And it's only until recently that I've discovered that really did carry through most of my life, and I didn't even really realize, which I think is pretty cool. So
how'd you overcome that? I mean, it's a pretty big thing to actually be bullied, because I was bullied too, so I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I do feel it. So then how did you overcome that? Like what was your method of overcoming it?
Social media was actually huge for me in that department, and which made it that much more scary when I first wanted to do it, because I was like, oh gosh, like what I could get back from this could be so much worse than what I experienced before. But when I put myself out there and actually experienced the opposite, it was like moms being like, wow, me too, or I've been through that, or wow, you're really motivating me. I started to get like this whole new confidence. So that's been over the last 6 years that I've probably grown confidently over social media. And now I think a lot of the books that I read and the personal development that I do and being on social media and all those things together have really shaped me to be so confident and genuinely not care what people think. And I'm showing up to try and serve and help. I'm not here to have you make it personal or
For someone to go from being bullied to being confident is a huge step.
yeah.
Huge step. And so for you to actually admit that social media, which is like, a lot of people balk at social media.
Totally.
And they say social media is a bad thing to society, it's a bad thing to everybody, so on and so forth. You know, let's not glorify this social media thing. Let's go back to our old traditions. But yet social media has helped so many people with their business, with their personal life, with a lot of things that people don't actually hear about.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really interesting. And it's coming from wherever you're at in that moment, because if social media is a bad thing for you right now and it's not feeling good for you, then that's your responsibility to take a step back and why?
Right.
Why does it not feel good right now?
Right.
Why am I having a negative opinion about it when it could be a positive opinion? Like, find something. I always tell people when they're new to my team or new to building a brand online, like, find that thing that makes you a little bit weird, a little bit silly, a little bit quirky. Like, I like to show up kind of like a hot mess sometimes, and that's sort of like my thing. Like, here's real mom Laura. Like, my child just scooped poop out of his diaper and put it on the wall, and I put that on social media because so many people are like, oh my god, my kids are annoying too. And it's just like, now we can all relate to it, right? And it can be a good thing. But if you're going to show up and, oh my god, my kids are so annoying, and you have a bad attitude, then that's what you're going to receive.
That's awesome.
So giving positivity, you then receive it, and that's been huge for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so now what is it that you're gonna do? So you already mentioned that you know, you have a goal of attaining $1 million or producing $1 million every single month, and you're saying that you still don't have a date as to what. So you said between 5 and 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So but do you have a date? As I'm asking the question, I'm like, wait, she didn't actually mention a date.
Yes and no.
Okay.
No, because in order to get there, I have one goal sort of ahead of that goal.
Okay.
Which is like a 2-year goal.
Okay.
So in order to get to the top level of the company in the next 2 years, and then I'll be able to just give her.
I got you.
So I kind of have like the goal before the goal, but that one does have a rough, like, I say 5.
I got you.
5.
So you got your eye on it.
I got my eye on the prize. Okay, yeah, it's like a little fish hanging, you know. I got it.
That's good. Okay, so that's one of the goals that you're trying to attain in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
What is something else that you want to attain in terms of goals? That if we were to follow up with you in, let's say, 5 years from now, what are you going to tell us in 5 years that you've done?
I really want to create something in the community, and I don't know what it is yet. So it's hard to put my foot on it. But what I do know is there's a lot of women like me, a lot of makeup artists and creatives who have children and are in a very similar situation as me, and they want more, but they don't know how to get more. And I would like to create something that I can help those women, you know, build themselves up confidently, but also in their business, and it be something that they do as a group, almost like a retreat or a program that we build your brand together, and something that I can give back to the community in that way and help others. I'm not 100% sure yet.
So you're thinking of building another company, basically?
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You're going to create another company to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to give back to my community in a massive way, because my community has supported me so much. You know, it hasn't just been my friends that have supported me in changing my mind all the time, because they're friends and family, we all know, are the last to support us. It's been the people in the community, so I want to be able to give back to them.
That's awesome.
And Arbonne is definitely going to be my means, my vehicle to help do that. I'm sure of it.
That's phenomenal. Okay, so for the women that are watching, those that do have children and those that don't have children, for those people that want to do something and they feel like they're stuck and they look to you for inspiration and they're wondering how can they get started, what is your advice to them?
Well, we do this for the kids. So never, ever, ever let your kids be the reason why you don't do something. I can't do this dream because I have kids, or I can't go back to work because I have kids. We have to flip that narrative in our mind. We are doing this for our kids because of them, because I want my kids to see that mommy can do anything she puts her mind to, that maybe mommy did this and then she changed her mind and now she does this, and look at the life that she created for us, or the opportunities, or the way she helped her community. And I really want the boys to see that, especially, again, coming from a traditional family, that women have the right to work just as much as daddy does, and that they can do it. I think a lot of the women in the community, in the Italian community, maybe feel that working isn't as easy of an option. Maybe the husbands don't make it as easy for them to go to work, or don't necessarily support it. You know, they say they support it, but they don't. I really want those women to know that you can do anything you want to do. Your kids are going to be proud of you. They're not going to be mad that you're not sitting at the hockey game. They're going to see what you've created, and they're going to be proud of that. Like, my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and she went back to school when we were 4 and 6 years old to become a firefighter. So
Wow.
I grew up seeing somebody who didn't even have a high school education, have 2 babies, worked at the Bay, had to go back to high school, earn her GED, and then become a firefighter. Like, that was so inspiring for me. And I have nothing against women that want to stay home with their kids, but you know, you need to be the best mother you can be. If that's the situation that you're in, you have to be the best at it. But for me, I wanted more, and I want my boys to see that anything is possible.
So your advice to the women that are watching right now is to basically to do it for the kids,
Do it for
to
them.
bring out the strength in you,
Yeah.
so that your kids see you as an example, so that when they're older, they can always lean back on that example
Yeah.
and keep going with their life.
Yeah, I want them to know that it takes 2 parents. It takes both of them. It doesn't just take one working and one at home. Like, mama has dreams too.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks.
It was an amazing show. Thank you so much. We
Thank
had a
you.
lot of fun.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone that's been watching, and for those that have been listening, thank you. And we will be back with another episode next time. Stay tuned.